Tell us about Lake Michigan Angler, folks who don't know about it. Today was the first day I've ever been in here, and super impressed.
Yeah, specialize in salmon tackle. We're Winthrop Harbor, Illinois. And we just really pride ourselves on helping people catch fish, helping people get started into salmon fishing, and just teaching them the right way to do it, and all the different techniques and the right way to rig, and just hopefully they just become successful on the lake.
Yeah, it's something that you've been around here for a while. But it's changed hands recently, and now it's your shop. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is my second year as the owner of it, and it's been a lot of fun being the owner myself, and just kind of taking charge and doing things like this, and just helping everybody out.
Yeah. So you were an employee for a long time.
Yeah. So this will be a 13th year for this store.
Yeah, and now you own it. So what have you learned going from being an employee to being the owner?
Actually, I think the biggest thing I've learned is that just to be confident in myself as far as being able to sell things, and being able to keep the place afloat and doing all that. Yeah, just confidence, really.
Yeah. So that's another thing. You know, we talk to people. We've had charter captains in here all night long, and there's a lot of people who are like, oh boy, I'd really love to be a charter captain someday and fish every day. We hear a lot of people too say, man, I wish I owned my own bait shop. Sit around and talk to people about fishing, and what is it about running a bait shop that most people don't know?
Oh, well, it's a lot of hours, and it's a lot of listening to people, and kind of like what Jason was just saying, the customers are what keep you going, but they're also
the tough thing. The
tough thing, right? But yeah, it's the fun part of it, and just being able to talk fishing every day, and it's what I know. I know more about fishing than anything else. If I went back to college and got a doctorate in economics, like I went to school for, I still know more about fishing.
Yeah.
So that's all I really know. So I might as well just go with it.
So how do economics and fishing, how do they work together?
I don't really know, to be honest. As far as running the store goes, I don't really use much of my economics knowledge for the store. I just look for what people want and what they need or they think they need, and make sure I have it for them. And I don't worry about anything else, really, just making sure I have the right products for everybody. Well,
we're in Winthrop Harbor, Illinois. We're basically right where the Illinois and Wisconsin border meet, right on Lake Michigan.
Yep.
What do people want right now? What's the
the main thing right now, typical for this time of year, is going to be peanut flies and coho dodgers, red dodgers, the double O's, the stubby dodgers, the baby spin doctors, all that stuff. But lately we've had a lot of kings around, so we're seeing a lot more spoons, moonshine spoons, just magnum spoons in general. They've been working really well. So it's a little bit different than a typical May, but yeah, normally right now it's the small flies and red dodgers and the fire dots and all that.
What else? What's the hot ticket?
You know what? Lately, wire diver setups have been flying out of here. I think this week I've put together 24 wire diver setups for people, so that is definitely the hot thing, and they've been working already. Our biggest king of the year on our boat was on a wire diver, so I guess it's not too early to start running them. They're working, and we've got them in stock if you need them.
Wire divers are not new.
Nope.
Why do you think that there's this surge of demand for them?
A lot of new salmon fishermen. We have a surge of new salmon fishermen that are getting boats set up, and they just don't have them yet. We also had some people just upgrading to nicer things this week, but I think the main thing driving to salmon fishing right now are the new fishermen, and it's great to see.
Yeah. How do we do that? That's important. It's something that if you're going to be in business and I'm going to be in business, we got to get more new people into the sport. How do we do that?
I think it's just teaching them how to catch salmon. Trolling for salmon is very technical, and if we don't share how we catch these fish, the learning curve is just too big. We have to share with everybody how to catch these fish so that other people can catch fish and stay interested in it. And that's just the main thing. We're always trying to be an open book.
Right. Is there a simple way to do it? One of the things that struck me is, last year I went out to Oregon, and we went out there and we were trolling kokanee salmon, and it's all just long line trolling. And you're out there and you go, anybody can do this. So is that something that if somebody really wanted to get started, is that something that they could do on Lake Michigan?
Yeah, you know what? To get started, I set people up with this all the time, just 2 dipsy divers. Braid dipsy divers are easy to use. You just The more line you put in the water, the deeper they go, and you can put anything you want behind them, a dodger, a flasher, a spoon. They're versatile and they're effective rigs. They're always the best rods on our boats, whether it's the braid dipsies or the wire dipsies. And you can go out in a small boat with just those 2 lines in the water and have a lot of success.
Yeah.
And it's an easy way to get started. And the next thing you know, then you're gonna want other rods. But with just 2 dipsy divers, you can catch a lot of fish and not get tangled.
Yeah.
And that's always the big thing that the newbies are worried about. You know, it's intimidating. Think about the planer boards and everything if you haven't used them, and you see the charters go out and they've got a dozen rods and planer boards everywhere. It's kind of an intimidating thing for somebody who's never done it before. But if you just put those 2 dipsies in the water, you can do it without a lot of hassle and catch a lot of fish.
Yeah, I like that. It's a great tip. You have anything for him, Jerry? We're just talking, kind of getting started here.
Yeah, so, most of the time when guys talk about wire divers, they automatically think sending it down deep with a Magnum divers. I know you guys do something a little different on the box stuffer.
Yeah, so I actually don't like to use Magnum divers that much on the wires unless I absolutely need to get deep enough. So until we see the thermocline down like 70 feet, I stick with regular like size 1 divers. And for us that really catches a lot more fish. In fact, the last couple of years we would try putting the Magnum divers out when you didn't need to get down that deep, and they really didn't catch fish for us. Our divers died until we put the regular ones back on. And we always keep them on 3 settings just to get them away from the boat. And then, like I said, they're our best rods every single trip almost.
Yeah. I love that. It's a great idea, and it gets people kind of into the game. It's going to get them in places that those long lines aren't going to get them, and you don't need a downrigger to get down there.
No, exactly. They get very deep. They're going to get, when you do need to get deeper, you can use a Magnum, and you're going to get deeper than your long lines will get anyways.
Mm-hmm. But how about some tips for someone who's going to run their first tournament? What advice would you give them?
I think what I would do, if you can pre-fish, that's great. Maybe the night before, we're doing the Thursday night captain's meeting, so that if you want to pre-fish on Friday, you can, on Friday night, if you can get out after work. And just network with as many people as you can. That's like the biggest part of salmon fishing in our area, is just have a good network of people, be friendly. Everybody's willing to share information. I'll give fishing reports. We'll probably have a fishing report in our captain's meeting. And then just, don't be stubborn with what you're doing. If something changed, get out there. Don't be afraid to try new things. Know your go-tos, but don't be afraid to get away from them and go somewhere where the other boats aren't going. I think that's the biggest thing. And then just getting back in time so you don't disqualify.
Yeah, that helps too.
Yeah.
You've got the shop here in Winthrop Harbor. What's it like having a shop here? What's the vibe of fishing like around this area?
These days, it's a good vibe. It's energetic. People are excited to go out and catch fish. I talk to new people every day that are catching fish, more fish than they have in the past. And to be honest with you, lately, we've had a little bit of tougher fishing than we've normally had this time of year. But people are going out and catching some nice kings, and sometimes it's their first ones, and their first time experiencing like a fish taking out a couple 100 feet a line. And it's just a fun experience for everybody. Even you get those guys coming in the store, they're excited about catching that king, and the experienced people that are in here, it makes them excited too. So overall, it's been a really good vibe, just a positive experience.
Yeah, and that's something that we're trying to do is get people who maybe have been, they've just been fishing the inland lakes, to give this a shot and go out and try that. So what's that like for you when they come in, they're getting started for the first time, and they swing back by the shop after they went out and had a great day?
Oh, it's pretty cool. We had a kid a couple years, last year I think, that just wanted to catch a salmon. His parents just had a sailboat, and we set him up with a dodger and a fly, and he just had a spinning rod, and we were like, just go out so far. They didn't have any electronics, and just dragged us behind the boat and go as slow as you can, and they caught a couple cohos that day, and that kid, or 3 cohos that day, and that kid was thrilled. They wrote a letter to us. I mean, it was pretty cool to see that, and we see that more and more often now. Just setting up sailboats to go catching salmon, and jet skis. Yeah, there's been a lot of jet skis, and of course the kayakers, and that's taken off quite a bit. And there's nothing like going on getting a sleigh ride from a king in a kayak. So
yeah, that's something that's near and dear to you. But you just said something that I've never heard before, and that's salmon fishing on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How do you set up a jet ski for salmon fishing?
Well, we see, and I haven't really set them up myself, but they'll usually have like a crate or a cooler on the back, and they'll have a couple rod holders on it, and they get it out at an angle, and I'll typically, depending on what their jet ski is set up like, I'll kind of decide how I'm gonna rig them up, but usually it's dipsies, just because it's versatile. Their biggest issue is just kind of going in a straight line and trolling the right speed, but they do catch a bunch of fish out there, and they can zip out pretty far and get deep, and you know, they can go pretty fast if it's not too wavy. So some of them out there actually have a lot of success and catching quite a few fish.
Yeah. When you get one on though, the other line's got to be dead in the water, right?
Yeah, if you don't keep it moving, and I guess with a jet ski, you know, if you can't keep your thumb on the throttle, you're not moving, so it's probably going to sink. But everything we use sinks anyway, so you just kind of have to live with that part of it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Very cool. Rob, if people want to find out more about Lake Michigan Angler, what is the best place for people to find out about?
You can find us on Facebook, Lake Michigan Angler on Facebook. We've got Lake Michigan Angler TV on YouTube, or Lake Michigan Angler on Instagram, and you can email me at sales@lakemichiganangler.com.